Well, it's time for the market update as we head into July with Bill Litton at Cross Country Mortgage. Inventory starting to creep up a little bit, which is a nice change. We'll talk about what that means. Plus, of course, an update on rates and more. That's all coming up. Well, hello and welcome into the Smart Mortgage Show. I'm Ben George with Bill Litton at Cross Country Mortgage. We talk about all kinds of mortgage lending, home buying, topics, refinancing, a lot of different things. Please check out the channel. Hopefully we've covered something that you're interested in, looking to learn more about. But of course, if you have questions for Bill, we'd love to hear from you. You can always follow up by calling 484-352-4151. Bill, what's going on?
Hey, Ben, how you doing?
I'm good. We head into July, middle of the summer. So, of course, I know you're probably got some big plans, but I know the other big news is inventory is up, right, heading into the July.
Yeah, inventory across the country is on the rise. Now, we are still in a seller's market, but that pendulum is starting to swing back in the other direction, which is a really good thing for buyers, as more inventory means that, instead of having 25 offers on a house, you might only have 5, or in some situations, I've had new buyers offers accepted on the first house that they offered on, which hasn't been so common in the past few years.
Yeah, no, that's I can't even think. I'm sure the market's pretty similar to where I am, where it's like if you're on your third or fourth house, that's pretty normal process, right? Is you're gonna have to put in a few offers, you're gonna get denied on a few, and have to keep looking. So increase in inventory is definitely good news. What does this mean at all for the mortgage lending aspect of the process for someone?
So really what it means is if you have more sellers out there, I think what we see a lot happening these days is you're going to get buyer fatigue, which is what you just said, right? If you had to make 20 offers on a house to get one accepted, we've seen people reasonably, right? We've seen them say, I'm waving the white flag. I'm done for now. It's too emotional. Every time you offer on a house, you start to get connected to it and visualize yourself living there. And it's an emotional experience. So the more offers somebody has to make before one's accepted, the more likely they are to drop out. So more inventory means less offers to have yours accepted, which means you're going to have more units of real estate moving and more buyers being able to buy.
Yeah, I remember when we were going through the process, there was at least one home that I was really locked into. I felt really good about it. I loved the home. It's kind of checked most of the boxes, and just like you said, you kind of envision like what it's like. What's what I'm going to do to it? This is what I'm going to put in this room and that room, and then all of a sudden, they decided to go a different direction. It's like, oh, what are you going to do? Like everything kind of comes crumbling down, and you got to start over again. So I know that's so stressful for so many people.
It is. It's a big undertaking to purchase a home. In a great market, in a buyer's market, it's still stressful. In this lopsided seller's market, it becomes much more stressful for the buyer. So we're really excited. Listings are up year over year, which is really encouraging. And really, I think what we're seeing is, as the person that has the 3% rate says, I don't want to go to 7%, but now they've stayed within those 4 walls for longer than they had expected to. And they're starting to realize that, interest rates coming back to below 4, it's not happening anytime soon. Well, I think that they start to realize that, why am I waiting? And maybe my needs are more important and I need to fulfill those needs rather than just waiting for the rates to come down. It's that need becomes more painful or more important than the interest rate. I think the other thing that we're seeing too is, like, you had a lot of people that were buying rental properties. I think that people are realizing that being a landlord's not so easy. We see some of those investors starting to sell as well.
Yeah, it always looks so much easier on TV when you watch somebody flip a house or rent something out. But I'm curious, because we've talked about on this show in the past about ways that you're able to get creative, right, as a mortgage lender, and what Cross Country can do to make an offer stronger. I don't think that it's necessarily going to make the process easier, but I'm curious if it does change the way you approach an offer with someone, knowing that maybe there is more inventory out there. We don't have to get as creative. Is there anything different about that process?
So this is a really interesting question because the agents that I work with, I've probably not said this enough, but I've thought it a lot and I've said it and I need to say it more. It's even though we're starting to see more inventory and it's not a buyer's market, but it's slightly moving in that direction, and we think it will continue to move in that direction, we still want to be creative. We still want to use all the tools. If it's the house that you really want, let's still employ all of those tools because now our chances of getting the offer accepted are far greater. We had to employ every tool possible a year ago, and there was a slim chance. Well, if we still employ all of those tools, now we've got a good chance of winning. And so what I've seen in this case is either it's resulted in having our offer accepted, and most times when we're throwing in all of our little tricks, all of our little advantages to try and help the buyer's offer get accepted, I'm hearing feedback that we're usually the runner up. If we didn't win the offer, we were really close. And I think that's the kind of team that you want behind you if you really want the offer accepted.
That's a good point. You don't cut any corners just because it's may be a little bit easier to get your offer accepted. You're still doing everything you can to make sure that person puts himself first on that list, even if it's only 5 offers versus 25. So that's important to kind of clear up. And I'm glad I asked that because that does make sense why you'd still put your best foot forward. Again, if you have questions as we go through this, 484-352-4151 or smartmortgageshow.com. Of course, Bill, the regional president at Cross Country Mortgage there in Chadsford, Pennsylvania. Let's talk about rates then, Bill. And that's still what people would tune into the market update for is, hey, what are rates doing? Have we had much movement from June to July?
So what we're seeing, Ben, is that we're still trading in a specific range for interest rates. So from May to June, we're still in that range because of, this higher for longer talk and speak from the Fed and all the economic indicators. If you look at the economic calendar, it certainly points in that direction as well. That the economy has not slowed quickly enough for the originally 6 rate cuts they were thinking in 2024. Then it went to 3. Now it's maybe 1 rate cut, and it's all data dependent. So we haven't softened enough to see that happen. But the good news is that the inflation measures last week of CPI, both the year over year and the month over month, came down 0.1%. So we're still not at that 2% mandate, but we're headed in that direction. Also, there were some employment numbers that showed that the job market was softening just a little bit. And that's the other piece of the puzzle that the Fed's waiting so that they feel like there's enough of a slowdown to where they can cut rates. Because if they cut rates and there's not been a slowdown, inflation will spike back to where it was. And everybody I know is complaining about when they go to the grocery store, when they buy clothes, when they buy gas, everything's inflated and it's really painful. That's why the Fed is so focused on this number.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. It's tough. And I know that there's been some talk and I guess inflation has crept down some, but you definitely feel it. So interesting to kind of track that again. We'll continue to do so month to month and figure out what's most important from Bill's perspective as the regional president, Cross Country Mortgage, and kind of see what him and his team are keeping an eye on in terms of mortgage lending and to help you through the home buying process. If you have questions, again, the best place to start is a free 15-minute mortgage and loan consultation to begin to kind of talk about what your needs are, what your goals are. Bill can kind of get a better idea of that big picture and start talking about what direction you might head, whether or not they're the best fit or not. They'll try to make sure you're going the best direction possible for you. Again, if you want to get in touch, 484-352-4151 or online at smartmortgageshow.com. Anything else for July, Bill, before we get out of here?
More than anything, just trying to enjoy a little bit of sunshine, taking some weekends to maybe head to the beach or just hang out by the pool and, just maybe unwind just a little bit, right?
Take advantage, my friend.
Amen.
I know you put in a lot of hours on this, so enjoy your free time and enjoy your summer. I know you enjoy this time of the year. So we appreciate your time today, Bill. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it.
This program is for informational purposes only. Please consult a qualified professional before taking any action. Bill Litton is a loan advisor and regional president with Cross Country Mortgage, NMLS number 147060.